Welcome to the Lopez game tree. Ramon Ang just bought in, KKR wants in, and every branch leads back to the same $5 billion question. First gen stock jumped 28% today, not 2.8, 28 on 20 times its normal volume. That's not a stock that's just moving, it's a stock having an event. Three parties are circling this family's businesses right now, and at the end of this video, I'll show you why one of them barely has to lift a finger to win, no matter what the others do. So stick around for that part. The house. So let's have a quick structure in quick lesson in structure. So picture a house, businesses sit at the bottom, power plants, geothermal wells, real estate, TV network. Above them, companies that own those businesses. And at the very top, on the roof, sits Lopez Inc., a private company not even listed on the stock exchange. So Mr. Ang did not buy first gen. He did not buy EDC, the geothermal business everyone suddenly wants. He bought 26% of the roof, personally through his own pocket, not San Miguel. Yep, the man runs one of the biggest conglomerates in the country, and for this one, he used his own wallet. That's either supreme confidence or he really wanted that rooftop view. Move one. In July, Indonesia's Barito Renewables floated a non-binding, roughly $5 billion offer for EDC, the geothermal business inside First Gen. No signature, no financing, no exclusivity, just a number big enough to make that market ask if EDC was worth way more than anyone thought. First Gen on that day, up 18%. Move 2. This is the new one. KKR, which is already a first-gen shareholder, wants to buy more directly from First Philippine Holdings, then offer to buy out the rest of the public float. The goal is to take first-gen private. Also non-binding, nothing signed. Move 3 is Ang's stake, sitting right on top of a company. Outside parties are now circling. So somewhere in Manila, group chats are having a very long week. Why the stock jumped? Talk about the mechanism, not the jargon. So EDC sits inside First Gen, inside First Holdings, inside Lopez Holdings, inside Lopez Inc. So price the thing at the bottom higher, and the value is supposed to travel upward through every box stacked on top. Except it usually doesn't. Holding companies rarely trade at what the math says they're worth because investors don't trust the value will actually reach them. That gap has a name. It's called the holding company discount. It's the difference between what's in the box and what people will pay for the box itself. So today, for the first time in a while, the market acted like it believed the value would travel. That's what a 28% day means. So the game tree. This is what we call the game tree. Here's what I promised you. In game theory, a game tree maps how one decision branches into the next one until you're down to a handful of real outcomes. KKR wanted first gen, Barito wants EDC, First Holdings wants the best price, the family wants peace without losing value, and Mr. Ang owns a quarter of the roof above all of them. He doesn't need to control this game. He just needs the other players to make good decisions for themselves. KKR pays up, his stake gets better. Reference price. First Holdings waits and First Gen keeps repricing. He benefits and the family simplifies the structure, the discount shrinks. And guess what? He benefits from that too. It's the corporate version of not picking a fantasy basketball team and still winning the league because everyone else's picks happen to help you. So patience isn't passivity. Here, it's actually the strategy. Now for the human part. This is still a family drama with a lot more plot twists than a telenovela. And one of them actually owns an actual TV network. So Gabby Lopez sold his stake and called it family peace. Vicky Lopez publicly welcomed Mr. Ang's arrival. So two people on opposite sides of a fight calling the same new guy good news. Then ABS-CBN announced a 6 billion peso cap raise, and three Lopez branches, including the one that just sold to Mr. Ang, are putting together 2.2 billion of their own money. So wait, that doesn't sound like an exit. Gabby may have sold the roof, but the branch is still paying rent on the room downstairs. So there's also an overlap that lingers. A detail almost no one's talking about, possibly even the most important one here, is that Mr. Ang runs San Miguel Global Power, which competes directly with Lopez linked plants for the same contracts. In February, for example, San Miguel's own plant beat a Lopez linked bidder on a Meralco supply deal. So Mr. Ang runs the company on one side of that table, and now personally he owns a quarter of the company on the other side of the table. So not automatically wrongdoing, but delightfully awkward. I know. It's like being the referee and the player on the opposing team in the same match. So San Miguel's board has some governance work here, disclosure, recusal where it matters, independent reviews, not because anyone's done anything wrong, but because at these stakes, trust me isn't good enough. Yeah. Who benefits? Let's do a quick rundown. First gen, that's the cleanest immediate winner. That's why it's up 28% today. First Holdings is the second act that gets the cash if the KKR deal closes. What they do with the cash, that's the next chapter. Lopez or LPZ, which owns First Holdings, it's kind of like the messiest play, but never gets credit for value. And Lopez Inc. is where Mr. Ang's stake lives, the cleanest exposure, but it comes with an actual voice, and it comes with an actual voice in how this entire thing is shaped. So the payoff, someone's put a real price tag on EDC, someone else wants first gen, maybe off the exchange entirely. Mr. Ang owns a quarter of the roof above it all in a position that benefits several different endings, not just one. So every branch on this tree leads back to the same place. Whoever holds the lock decides how the value gets split. The opportunity was never really in the asset, it's in the box that owns it. And right now, the box isn't broken, but the lock is. And Mr. Ang's holding a piece of it without needing to force the next move. Full numbers and sourcing are in my next article on both LinkedIn and Substack. Uh, so the title is Welcome to the Lopez Game Tree. Link is below. So stay curious, stay